Hey guys, Max and Tara here from Destructoid. It is Tuesday, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, look at your shirt.
I know, I'm wearing a heart. That's actually not the most exciting part about today though. It is that the Mass Effect 3 demo is officially out on Xbox Live right now. You can only play the single player actually. The multiplayer does not open to the public until the 17th. However, if you bought and registered your online pass for Battlefield 3, then you have access to the multiplayer, which is what we've been playing for the better half of this morning.
Yeah, we played a little bit of the single player too, but it's Mass Effect.
Yeah, I want to talk about the multiplayer specifically.
I know. I'm just saying for people excited, you know, by all means check it out, but it's pretty familiar. Meanwhile, the multiplayer.
Yeah, what are your initial impressions so far?
I was really skeptical and I was really impressed. So
yeah, it's kind of a strange thing because we don't really have much to go on since this is kind of the first multiplayer in this series.
It's also a traditionally single player RPG with some action elements, and then they were like, hey, what if we made it a co-op shooter? And everyone's like, that's to justify an online pass, and then we played it, and it's fun.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were skeptical about this being kind of a tacked-on multiplayer thing, but I was pleasantly surprised with it. There's a lot of depth. A whole bunch of character customization for one thing. You can change the appearance, obviously. But right from the get-go, you can play as one of the 6 different classes that they've got. And they've incorporated a lot of RPG elements to it also, so you basically level up your character.
I think that's an interesting point, is that it's not trying to be like a traditional shooter. You know, it's not taking really the skill-based shooting approach. It's very based on what you upgrade and what your skills are and how you apply changes to your character to best complement your playstyle.
I like that it's co-op and not you know, competitive multiplayer. I think that makes it a lot more fun, and it kind of enhances the RPG aspect.
I think it's interesting because traditionally in Mass Effect it's like it's a role-playing game. You play as the role, but you play as the role of Commander Shepard. You know, it could be Bob Shepard or like LaFonda Shepard, but it's still Commander Shepard. With this, you can be like, I was Ladashian.
Yeah, that was actually the character.
Yeah. And it was like you can actually create your own character, and then there's like, it's not giving you a bunch of cutscenes about how you're talking to these people and how there's like a plot in place. It's basically a game, but you can play with your friends, and it's actually
But you don't feel like a nameless nobody when you're playing it, because I have felt that in a lot of multiplayer games before. This one, you know, you've got powers, all the powers that are available in the single player game, you can upgrade in the multiplayer. And it's just, you know, like, you have a sense of purpose in it.
It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I could actually see myself playing this with friends online, and you know, we all have our little headsets on, and we actually are pretending we're in space, even though we're not. But we could pretend.
No.
Use our imaginations.
One thing I was saying is the whole, like, it kind of makes you feel individualized. Part of the reason that is because on the XP, you actually get partial XP for certain kills, which is interesting. Not just like half XP, but like it's a very precise number. Like you'll get plus 59 for an assisted kill or something.
Yeah, it's not like headshot, boom, you get 100 points. It's like you sort of ran by that guy and hit him slightly, and it didn't do as much damage as it could have did it. So you killed him, but you only made like 167 points or whatever. So
all those points, basically, you accumulate them, and then at the end of the match, you can upgrade your powers. But you can also unlock weapons, armor, bonuses, all kinds of stuff.
The coolest thing is you can play as different races. You're not just playing as man or woman.
You
can also play as Krogans, Solarians, whatever the hell Garrus is. One of 2 races that look like artichokes, you know. But you know, that's really cool. That's exciting. I like that. I'm a human in everyday life. It's kind of cool that I'm finally playing. It's the 3rd Mass Effect game, and you can finally play as a fucking alien. Thank God. But you have to unlock that. You have to get to that. You know.
A lot of the stuff, a lot of the features are know unlockable. But they've got 2 maps from the get-go. You can't unlock any maps. There are just 2 maps in the multiplayer period for the demo. You've got the Firebase Ghost and Firebase White, which are both kind of very similar in layout. A lot of options for cover.
Honestly, they seem very much like Mass Effect levels. You know, it's like what if it was a warehouse but in space? And then there are boxes everywhere and some stuff you could hide next to. So I
wasn't super impressed with the maps or anything, but I thought the enemy AI was really good.
No, it's good. Except for when you die and you're waiting for someone to come resurrect you, and then one of the guys comes over and stomps on your neck, and then you can't get resurrected. Well, that's the thing, though. It's difficult because the enemies
don't just come out from one spot. It's randomized, so a bunch of them come out from over there and over here, and they'll follow you around wherever you go. So you'll be like, you'll think you have a really awesome spot, but then there'll be some dude who comes and finds you and like shanks you from behind, which is kind of irritating, but also challenging.
True.
In a good way.
One thing, speaking of shanking, one thing that's been hyped is the melee combat in Mass Effect 3, where you whip out your Omni Blade and stab people, and it looks really cool. Really cool idea, still really fun to do, but in melee, it's sluggish as hell. In multiplayer, it's sluggish as hell, especially if there's like a bunch of dudes running around and you're like, oh, I gotta help my friends, and you sort of swing at them and you just go like, and I'm like, it's a lightsaber.
Like,
It's a giant glowing sword coming out of your hand. That should be fast. That should not be like.
It should be fast, and you shouldn't have to turn to the precise direction that your enemy is
it's a little
in
bit,
to be able to use it, which is kind of weird. Another control issue that we had was with the cover, which is you press A to take cover. Obviously,
you press A to take cover, to run, to jump over stuff, to activate things, to heal your friends, and that's a lot of things for one button to do. So.
I tried to heal you like 10 times, because he's really bad at the game, just so you know. I tried to heal you like 10 times, and probably 8 out of those 10 times, I just accidentally took cover and died myself.
Or you're like, I'll wake you up with my somersaults, and you sort of jump over the person.
And part of that is probably the layout of the maps, just because they have so many things to like take cover behind.
But again, this game isn't coming from like a shooter standpoint. Like it's a role-playing game, you know, and it's the fact that they managed to make a fun multiplayer element for it is impressive.
So as far as objectives go, this is another thing that they do to kind of mix it up. It's not all just like kill the enemies as they come in waves. Sometimes
it's not too far removed from that.
It's not, but at least they try by throwing in random objectives. Like in certain rounds, you'll have to like hack a terminal. So one person will have to like go stay there as they're hacking it, and other people will have to basically defend.
Or it's turn off the indoctrination devices, and there are 4 of them, so you have to go to different parts of the map, and you could have everyone break up and go do it themselves, or you could work as a team, which would probably work better. They throw a lot of stuff your way. It's nothing we haven't seen before in terms of objectives. It's pretty basic. It's go here, push A next to this thing, for the most part.
It just shows a little bit of effort on their parts, I think.
We have to find some atlases. They're fun, the big robots. That was great. I was off getting killed and being lost in other rooms, and I was like, guys, there's a robot in here.
Yeah,
they're like, what now? There's a robot.
There are bosses in the multiplayer.
They're cool.
That's also a fun part, actually. It is difficult. I will say it's significantly more difficult with 2 people rather than 3 or 4. So I would definitely recommend, like, especially if you're starting out and you haven't leveled up your character yet, try playing with 3 or 4 people. But
we played, and there was a guy who jumped in who was a Krogan, and he was kicking ass, and it's because he got the demo at like 1:30 this morning, and we got it at 1:30 this afternoon, so he'd spent some time with it.
Somebody we were playing with, though, said, like, they recommended that you level up your fitness before anything else, because it'll, like, double your armor.
Yeah, it's just your health and stuff.
You'll die way less often, so.
But that's an interesting thing. You're not just buying weapon upgrades or learning the skills. You're getting points to upgrade your character, which is like a RPG take on multiplayer. Exactly. It's a trip. It's neat.
So I had a lot of fun with this. I was pleasantly surprised. Like I said, I thought the combat, despite the control issues we had, I didn't think it ever got boring.
No, it was good. I'm really surprised. I've been less excited for Mass Effect 3 just because I know what it's going to be. I have a pretty good idea of it. It's Mass Effect 3.
You've been to all the demos before that they've shown.
Yeah, but it's taking Mass Effect 2 and fine-tuning it. They're not completely reinventing the series, but the addition of multiplayer is something new entirely, and it's really neat.
I'm glad to see they kind of got most of it right out of the gate.
I think so.
Like I said, February 17th is when this opens up to the public, unless you have Battlefield 3. Actually, Origin is running a deal right now where if you pre-order Mass Effect 3, you can get a free digital download of Battlefield 3. So maybe that's worth checking out. I don't know. I just saw that on their website like a few seconds ago. But keep in mind that the demo is only running until March 5th. So check it out, get your time in, and let us know what you thought of it. Thanks for watching.